Hey everyone, it's Brenda back with another episode of Three Uniques. I'm really excited to introduce you to Dan Pontefract. Hey Dan, how are you doing today?
Brenda, how are you? Are you safe, first of all?
Of course I'm safe. Yeah. Safe from what? Oh, COVID? Yeah.
Yeah,
That little thing?
that little elephant in the room.
Yeah. Not to mention the hat.
Oh, that.
That.
Get to the jester part later, but I'm glad that you're safe and
Yeah.
healthy.
And you as well? Family? Good?
I have not been off Vancouver Island, where I live, since March the 13th, when all hell broke loose, when I was frantically trying to come home from New York via Toronto at
Right.
one of those days. But yeah, I'm doing great. Family's great. Christmas is here.
I know it's here. I'm decorated. I decorated 2 weeks ago because I'm just like, you just got to add a little bit more sparkle to this year.
Absolutely.
I will probably just keep it up all next year.
I like your style.
No one's coming over, so no one's gonna judge me for having my Christmas tree up in May or August. So I might as well just keep it up and just have sparkle all the time.
Love it. Love it. Excellent.
Yeah. So just so everyone knows, Dan's the founder and CEO of the Pontefract Group. He's also just published his fourth book, which is right behind him there, Lead, Care, Win, which is super cool. You can get it on Amazon and Chapters, Indigo, anywhere where they sell books, I imagine. Yeah.
Local independent bookshops, support them.
Cool. So Dan, why don't you tell people a little bit about what you do? What's the Pontefract Group all about? What's Lead, Care, Win all about?
Well, first of all, from the Pontefract Group perspective, I love irony a lot. So when I left TELUS about 2 years ago now, I'm a company of one, but added the word group to my last name so that I'd make people think that I was this humongous enterprise. And when I speak to them, I say, actually, it's just me. I'm my own EA. I do all my own stunts. I just kind of like irony as well. But what I do is I kind of have three main lines of work, I suppose. I write, as you see to my Lead, Care, Win book. We'll get to that. I do keynotes and workshops, whether they're digitally, virtually, or face-to-face. And then I do a fair bit of consulting for organizations to help them with their, culture, leadership, their learning, their practices from an OD, HR, people and culture perspective. And I love it. So it's nice to be kind of in all three arenas.
And someone is texting me while we're talking, which is awesome.
Real world. Real world.
And I also saw on your LinkedIn profile that you're a hugger-in-hiatus. Tell me about that role. What's that role all about?
In lieu of there being, any face-to-face contact, I'm a big hugger. So I don't handshake people. I tend to hug. And so due to COVID-19, I'm a bit in a hiatus mode right now. I think the whole world is obviously. So I don't know who's going to be first, but it's going to be a very sloppy first hug that's not my family to anyone that walks by, frankly, I think.
Beware Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so Lead, Care, Win. Tell us a little bit about the book.
Yeah. It's not, I thought about titling the book when I was first writing it, put an S in front of the word care. And that would be basically the playbook for many leaders out there. You lead by scaring and you win. So lead, scare, win. That got thrown out because I wanted to write a more positive book.
Yeah, good call.
And I've been through the ringer before. So this is my fourth, as you kindly mentioned. And I wanted to be different as well. So the first three books were kind of like 85 to 90,000 word hardback, thoroughly researched, lots of interviews, and delving deep into topics that I care a lot about, like culture and purpose and thinking. But as a former chief envisioner, chief learning officer, an individual whom has studied organizations and people, being a hugger, I thought, well, why not write a book that's all about care? And so I looked deep into my own background. I looked deep into who I really adored, whether that was directly or vicariously by example. And I just, was noodling for about a year and a half on, well, where do the real leaders shine? Who are they? What do they do? And sure, you could talk about strategy, and you could talk about financial prudence, and you could talk about innovation, and you could talk about this and that. But for me, it really came down to, Brenda, was these 9 humanistic leadership behaviors, lessons, characteristics. And in the book, really, I spend a long time thinking about 15 of them, 4 of them, 12 of them, 90 of them, whittling them down to these 9 that I saw in most cases used by leaders whom actually not just had high engagement scores, but most importantly, they did good for their people that they serve, the community, and they also happen to be, innovating and strategic. So that's what it came down to, was write something practical, write it in my own voice as opposed to a corporate voice, make it only 37,000 words and not 90, and make it paperback so that it's approachable in an airplane. Irony alert, irony alert again.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I've always loved reading your books. I still have this one. You've sent it to me. I still have this one to read. It's on my shelf for the holiday season when I've got a week off at Christmas.
There you go.
I'll definitely be reading it. I'm excited to dive into it.
Awesome.
So you're here to share your 3 uniques with us. So how about them?
Sorry, they cut out there. Did you say?
Yeah. Okay. I just said, so you're here to share your 3 uniques with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well, so I really thought about this, and I loved how you've got 3 and not 7 or 1. And when I was given advice one day by none other than Daniel Pink, and he said, "Yeah, you got too much stuff going on in your books, man. Like, can you whittle it down to 3? Like, just have 3." See, all my books have 3 something. So I was thinking of Dan Pink when you thought about the 3 uniques, because I think you've definitely listened to him more than I did ever before. Now, yeah, I guess there's no particular order, but one of the things that I'm proud of, but that I also push people to be more of, is curious. I'm super curious about all things. So that could be to learn new things, that could be to meet new people, that could be try new technology out like this, what you see now. Like I really have this penchant for, hey, what's behind that door? Oh, let's go try that. Oh, that's pie gout number 5. That's really hot. Maybe I should try it. Whatever the case may be, I just have an unquenchable appetite for thinking about what's possible through kind of that curiosity quotient, whether it's ideas, someone else's ideas, reading about something. I must spend probably an hour and a half a day on Flipboard, one of those wonderful apps, because I've curated things from all over the planet, from South Africa to China to New Zealand, and just getting these ideas and thoughts and, thinking, if you will, from folks everywhere. So I can't say enough that when I'm doing exec coaching or what have you, I really think curiosity is one of those top 3 uniques for me, but also I think it's something others need to really ask themselves. Are you quizzical? Are you, wondering what's behind that door? And are you, stuck in your own status quo? Because I don't know, I always think about what more could I learn tomorrow?
Right.
So curious would definitely be one of them.
And your second one?
My 3 goats, definitely, and Denise as well, my beloved, infinitely better half, would argue that I'm relentless. And so the relentlessness of Dan can be, hey, Denise, I'm going to write a book again, and then I will dive deep into a book. Setting the table. I would like when, kids are setting the table for it to be done the same way, because you teach once and you teach again, but then, okay, come on, folks, like, this is a habit. So this relentlessness is in all facets of my life. It's my time management.
Right.
It's my shopping style. It's keeping up with contacts and networks and friends. It's saying when you're going to do something and you do it, you stick to it. You say, I'll be there. I'm committed. I promise I'm not going to fail you. So I'm relentless in the pursuit, not of perfection, because things bust down, but of being there and present in my behavior as a human being with others. So that would be number 2.
Very cool.
And I would say kind of aforementioned point there about being human is actually my third unique, which doesn't make me unique, by the way, but it's that I am a, I'm a human. And so why is that unique, Dan? Well, uh, I bring my true self to everything I do. So that means I'll cry. That means that I'll find joy. That means I'll wear hats. That means I care what you think, but I'm more interested in me being a human being for you, with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that humanistic, empathic, at times je ne care pas en français attitude is one of my uniques, because what you see is what you get. So my kids, the goats, they get the same thing as what the Vancouver community, the BC community, the New York community, the London community, the author community, the whatever community, I'm the same person.
Yeah.
And that's not unique, but I find that far too many people that I do come across have two selves. They've got kind of work Dan and they've got home Dan. And I just don't believe in that. And so ergo, what you see is what you get. Best
Yeah.
way to capture that last one.
Awesome. I'm very much a believer in the one life, one Brenda. Like, to try and be like multiple Brendas to people. Well, first of all, that's just damaging, I think, to your own self, but to other people, it gets confusing, right? Like, why do you show up this way and that way? And like, when do you turn it on? When do you turn it off? And as I get, wiser and older in life, it's just like, yeah, take it as it, take me as I am, and no more jumping through hoops. This is what you get. And I'm pretty happy with it. So, not to say that I'm opposed to learning and being open or humbled by feedback or insight from people about how I could show up better, but it's not, I'm not going to be different personalities for different people. So
right.
I totally agree with you on that point. It's awesome. Thank you for sharing your three uniques. It's great to hear that, because I know you, and I've read all your books up until this one, and it's so great to hear like the story behind the man that you know. And so hearing the three uniques. So as I interview people, it's like, oh yeah, I see that now. And it's really cool to hear you share those. So another question for you that's not uniques, but kind of brings out your three uniques. So if you had, if I could give you anywhere in the world to put up a billboard and you could put anything on it, what would you put on it and where would it be?
What a profound question. It would be one billboard, one place. It would, for me, probably be, again, I'm going to couch and hedge my bet here, but it would be at an airport, at the arrivals hall. So whether that's Pearson or JFK or SFO, whatever, pick an airport.
Yeah, Heathrow, wherever. Yeah.
And the arrivals hall, and international arrivals hall. And that sign would say something to the effect of, "You are welcome here." And it would be intended for immigrants or folks that are moving to that city, whether the first time ever or what have you. I feel that this planet needs a hug, but it needs all of us to welcome others. This is a metaphor, obviously, into your home, into your life, into your community, into your place of work. Mm-hmm. And so that billboard would be, "You're welcome here." And let's basically start a relationship from there.
Nice. Love it. And just, it's not my question. Tim Ferriss, Tribe of Mentors.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So, but I love the question, and I love asking it to people because everyone has different takes on it, but usually it all summarizes into some type of humanity statement. So love the fact that you're following that same trend. Oh. And what's your one hope for 2020?
For the rest of this year or into 2021?
Oh, I meant what's your one hope for 2021? Thank you.
Okay. No worries. My one hope. I would say this, Brenda. When we are human, we ultimately err. And as Pope once said, to err is human, to forgive is humane. And so I argue that we need to forgive. There's been, wherever you are on the planet, just such rhetoric, and it's not an American thing, it's a global thing, such rhetoric about anti-mask, mask, anti-vaccine, vaccine, populism, anti-populism. Like there's just a polarity of magnificent proportions, almost unseen in humanity's tenure here.
Mhm.
So I would hope that we're able to forgive by allowing ourselves into the psyche or the other side. That is, forgive yourself for not opening yourself up to their thinking, whatever their means, but also the other side, forgiving themselves for not, potentially looking at things your way. The echo chamber of groupthink and the kind of two referring of whatever sides we are referring to, it scares me. And so I think we need a level of forgiveness, um, of significant heightened proportions than ever before, in order to really heal, post pandemic, if you will.
Awesome message. And with that, I will say thank you for being on Three Uniques and sharing them with everybody. And it was great to reconnect with you today.
Brenna, I can't wait to have that hug in 2021 with you.
Awesome. And for everybody that's tuning in today to listen to Dan share his Three Uniques, remember to get out there and share yours. I actually read yesterday, 7.8 billion people on the planet. Somebody needs what you've got. Thanks, Dan.
Ciao.